Hey guys, it's Kayla from Killing It With Coupons, and I am here to share with you guys my Walmart haul for this week. I actually ended up doing this kind of in two transactions, two separate ways. One of them, because I found some deals really good earlier on in the week on, I think it was Tuesday. So I ended up having the item shipped to my house, and I believe over $35 is free shipping at Walmart. And also grocery pickup is free over $35. So again, one of these, which was these items over here, I had shipped, and then these items over here I did as a grocery pickup. At Walmart they won't ship like food and things like that, but there was, like I said, a couple things that I saw early in the week that I did not want to wait until the weekend when I was going to go do the grocery pickup to get, so I ended up picking up a few of those. So that was why I ended up doing this sort of, like I said, in two transactions. One as the shipped to my house order, and then the other one as the grocery pickup. And for the most part I was able to get everything. However, these Gold Bond, these lotions, I actually had 3 initially to be shipped, and they were out. They only had 1 left, so I only ended up receiving 1. However, with the fetch reward, it ended up actually earning me back, like I had purchased 3 of them, because I did purchase 3 of them initially, and then they weren't able to fulfill the order, so then Walmart will end up canceling it and then refunding you the money. As far as through fetch, it looks as though like I purchased 3 of them, but only because of Walmart not, you know, having them in stock and not saying that initially when I placed the order. They ended up then refunding me after the fact. So I did still earn that from fetch, along with, as well, I had picked up both these Dave's Killer Bread snack bars and also the bites, and they were out of the bites at my store, but the same thing. I ended up earning a fetch reward on that, but then they didn't have it and they weren't able to fulfill it, so I didn't end up getting the item, but they still ended up earning the reward, even though the order, you know, like I said, when it was placed, I ended up paying for it, and then they end up refunding me after the fact because of that. I don't know how that works with fetch when you get like a refund like that, how you're supposed to exactly go about like not getting those rewards back then if they end up having to issue a refund for it. Like I said, in my case it was just refunded because they didn't have it in stock, and I didn't get like a different substitution for it either, because with those they didn't carry any other variety other than the one kind at my store, and with the Gold Bond those ones were on like clearance, I guess, so they didn't end up, I didn't want them to replace it with like a more expensive one. So like I said, I still ended up earning that back even though they didn't have those items in stock, and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 other things that they didn't have in stock. They had Cascade like dishwasher rinse that I ended up also getting, and that was just with Walmart Cash, but the Walmart Cash they won't credit your account until after the order's fulfilled. But like I said, with Fetch they do it before that, so then when they didn't end up fulfilling 2 of those items, it still ended up giving me the fetch points back. So again, that it was the only thing, I think those were the only items possibly that they ended up not having. Everything else they ended up having in stock. So I was able to do all these deals though, but all these deals ended up being pretty good this week at Walmart. And I do want to, I've mentioned to you guys this now in my last 2 Walmart hauls as well, a good portion of these items were like either rollback prices or clearance prices, and those are going to vary by store. There's actually only, I think, 1 item for sure in here that I know that was on rollback. The other ones might have all been on clearance, but for some reason they will like clearance them out, sort of, even though like I checked dates on all this stuff, none of it is like even close to, most things are still over a year away from like the sell by date. I don't necessarily know why they're clearancing some of them out. Possibly, again, the personal care and things like that might be because they're, you know, they're just discontinuing those items, or they might not be carrying it at my store anymore, they might not be carrying it at Walmart at all, they might be repackaging, they might be making it a different size, you know, like shrinkflation, that kind of stuff. Again, some stuff could be close to sell by date, but I checked like all of the food stuff because that was kind of what I was thinking, and like I checked those Chef Boyardees, those are over a year and like I think 6 months away almost from the sell by date. So there's like absolutely no way they would have been clearancing them out, given the fact that they're like close to like the, you know, the sell by or expiration date or something like that. So like I said, I don't necessarily know why. Sometimes it could be just because it's the online price, and that price can vary from store, in store and online. So this is just a big disclaimer that all these deals that I end up doing might not end up being the same for you. Again, depending on what they have available at your store as far as clearance, rollback prices go, and again, just prices in general. I checked even too, I brought this up the last couple of weeks, but these Great Value noodles, these have been on rollback at my store for 74 cents, but they were, I think regularly $1.08. At a store down the street from me, they're $1. So even compared to one store to another, the prices can differ. For the most part, a lot of times the like personal care, household products and things like that will be pretty close to the same price, but again, they can still vary. So this is just, again, a big disclaimer to let you guys know that sometimes some of these items that I end up doing, especially when it comes to Walmart, are definitely going to be different for everybody based on their store and what their store has and is clearancing and is having on rollback, and what is available, what their online price is compared to the in-store price. And like I said, I do all of this with the online price because I'm either doing shipped to my house or doing a grocery pickup, and the items again too are compared to the online price. So again, my in-store price even at my store might end up being different than what I get these items for online. But in total for all these items, again, this was the stuff I ended up doing as grocery pickup, and you guys can kind of see the line that I divided there, was the stuff I did with shipping. But combined for both of these ended up being $171.07. Out of pocket, I only paid $52.53 and saved $118.54. I used $22.03 in Walmart cash, and that was on this ship to home order, which I ended up doing again earlier in the week on Tuesday. And then from what I earned from that, I rolled into this transaction, and then from this I ended up ending with a total of $15.85 in Walmart cash. I also ended up earning back $5.56 for my Bata, and the equivalent of about $2.40 in Shop Kicks and $4.70 roughly in Fetch points. So and that was combined between both of those hauls, with the Shop Kicks and Fetch. So in total, I ended up ending with $28.51 across all of those different rewards. So my net cost for all these items was just $46.05. So like I said, pretty good deal for under 50 bucks for what I picked up, and a decent amount of the stuff I actually ended up getting was, like food and things like that as well. It wasn't just personal care and household and that kind of stuff. But I'll start off with, again, the smaller of the two hauls. These items, like I said, I ended up paying for this smaller haul $32.55. It would have been $87.76. I saved $55.21. I used the $22.03 that I earned from last week in Walmart cash. I ended up earning back $26.50 in Walmart cash, $2.40 in Shop Kicks, $1.10 in Fetch, for a total of $30 across those apps that I ended up earning back, and my net cost for just these items was $24.58. So the deals going on with these were the Cascade, and this was probably the #1 thing that made me like this, and the dry shampoo, because dry shampoo is super expensive and I love getting a good deal on it. But with the Cascade, this was, like I said, such a good deal. This is regularly $13.58. It was either on clearance or rollback, probably clearance, but I'm not entirely sure. It was $8.68, and there was $3 back in Walmart cash when you bought one. So the net cost for this was just $5.68 for a 43 pack of Cascade. I saved $7.90, which, like I said, that was probably the #1 thing where I was like, I don't want to wait until the weekend. I don't know if they're going to be sold out or, whatever, but under $6 for a pack of dishwasher detergent is awesome, because that is probably the one thing that's like my Achilles heel when it comes to couponing, in all of my years of, like, I don't even know what it's been, 15 years or something like that of couponing, and I've almost never gotten deals on Cascade, like hardly ever. Sometimes maybe, but it's one of the things that, like, we have a dishwasher and we use this stuff all the time, but I hardly ever get like really good deals. So that was awesome. They also had the Centrum Silver Women's Multivitamin. These were regularly at $7.79, so they would have been $15.58. They were on, again, clearance or possibly rollback. These might have been rollback because of in January, it's normally a new year, new you kind of month for sales. So things like vitamins, healthy you type food, you know, products and things like that, is when we tend to see like the best deals and sales on those type of things. Again, like protein bars, protein shakes, you know, like workout type deals and that kind of stuff is normally the new year, along with vitamins. So these could have been rollback, but they were $6.12. So two of them were $12.24. That's what I ended up paying out of pocket, and I earned back $3 in Walmart cash, which was a limit of 2. So it was $6 in total I got back. I also got 300 kicks back from ShopKick, which I ended up getting 2 back as well. So it was 600 kicks, which is about the equivalent of $2.40. I think 250 kicks is about $1. So this was $2.40 back from ShopKick for a net price of $3.84 for 2, or $1.92 each. Like under $2 for vitamins is awesome, and I saved $11.74 for those. Then another clearance or rollback deal was on the Pampers wipes. This is the equivalent of about 2 packs. There are 112 wipes in this pack in total. It was $6.97 normally, but they were again on lower price clearance, rollback, whatever, for $4.88, and we got $1 back in Walmart cash, so it was just $3.88, which, like I said, that's the equivalent of being less than $2 per pack, which is not too bad of a price. Also, like I said, the other deal that made me have to jump on this and get it delivered was on the dry shampoo. These are regularly $11.68. 2 of them would have been $22.36. They were on, again, clearance or rollback or whatever for $6.68. So 2 of them was $13.36. And I earned back $3 in Walmart cash, which was a limit of 2. So I ended up earning back a total of $6, making these $7.36 for 2, or $3.68 each, and I saved $16. And like I said, these are so expensive. Like, this was over half off, so I am happy with that. Normally like $5 or less for dry shampoo is a pretty good deal, so this was very good. But again, this is kind of weird because I think it was last week or else 2 weeks ago I also got dry shampoo. The weird thing is that, again, if they were clearancing them out, you'd expect them to like not have them in stores anymore, right? They have them in stores. Like, again, after the sale, after I placed this order, I saw a few days later they were back up to full price and they still have them available. So I don't know why, like, they clearance it out but then they still have them available. But like I said, I'm not going to question it because they're lower price for whatever reason, and it ends up being a really good deal. With the gold bond, this was regularly $11.97. Like I said, I placed an order to pick up 3 of them because it was a limit of 3 with the Walmart cash. So that was what I ended up planning on doing, but they were on, again, clearance most likely for $3.38. You earned $2.50 back in Walmart cash, and with Fetch you would earn 1,100 fetch points, which is the equivalent of about $1.10 when you spend $6, which, like I said, I was over that because I was planning on getting 3 of them. It was like $9. The net cost with just the Walmart cash, these were only 88 cents. So that's why I was like, yes, I'm going to pick up 3 of them because 88 cents is awesome. And then I also got the bonus fetch points back. But since it ended up still giving me the $1.10 back from Fetch, only getting 1, this actually was a slight bit of a money maker. The Airwick, these were regularly $3.78, and you earn $3 back in Walmart cash, making them just 78 cents and saving $3. The Irish Spring, also a really good deal on the men's body wash. These big pump bottles, these are regularly $6.94. They were on clearance for $3.38. You earn $2 back in Walmart cash, so it's just $1.38, which, like I said, $5.56 in savings. That's awesome for that. Like, normally $2 around that price for body wash is a pretty good price, but for the big size bottle for that price is like awesome. Also, the OGX shampoo, these were also, again, lower price or clearance for $4.88. They were regularly $5.58, and you earn $3 back in Walmart cash, so it was $1.88, saving $3.70. And these, again, too, are another thing that, like, I don't really get many deals on. This is a pretty decent shampoo, and it's normally pretty expensive, and that was a fairly good price for that. So that was everything with the delivery I ended up doing. Then these items are what I picked up today in the grocery order, and a lot of it, again, too, included actual groceries and things like that, but a few other things that I ended up doing that they weren't going to ship. I had to do it as a pickup. But these items would have been $83.38. I paid $19.98 and saved $63.33. I used $26.50 in Walmart cash that I'd earned from that transaction previously, and I earned back $15.85 in Walmart cash, $5.56 from Ibotta, $3.60 from Fetch, for a total of $25.01 that I earned back, making my net cost $21.47. I am probably going to try and move away a little bit from Walmart cash and actually just try and do Ibotta, because I do want to try and get the bonuses as well. Like, there was a bonus for if you got, I think 6 for me. It was 6 over the weekend, 6 rebate offers. Then you earn back like a $2 or $3 bonus or something like that. And I was like, that would have been awesome. Instead of doing the Walmart cash, could have done it with Ibotta. But the thing is, with Walmart cash, it is technically Ibotta, but it just works through the Walmart app. So if you redeem an offer for Ibotta and for Walmart cash, you will only get the Walmart cash back, and you will get it back first. But if you guys see, I did the Airwick. I did it once over here with the Walmart cash and then once over here with the Ibotta offer. So I was able to get both of those. You can sort of maximize your savings by, again, getting one with like Walmart cash and one with Ibotta, since they normally will be the same offers, but you can't like get double the cash back from it. And it will always end up, if you clip one of the offers, it will always give you the Walmart cash back over the Ibotta offer. So for example, also too, with these chomps, this was with an Ibotta offer, but they also have Walmart cash. These ended up being free with Ibotta, but the Walmart cash was only 50 cents back. So if I would have clipped that, I would have gotten 50 cents back instead of the full Ibotta rebate offer, which was ended up being free and was a better deal. But if I would have clipped that, I probably would have only gotten back the Walmart cash, which again wouldn't have ended up making that as good of a deal as free. So that's just, again, too, to let you guys know a little bit if you are doing Walmart cash and or Ibotta offers. It is kind of convenient because then you can just apply it to your cart. You don't have to redeem a gift card through Ibotta and then use it, you know, or again get cash back or whatever, and then end up using it like in the next transaction. And you know, it's kind of difficult, more difficult to do it that way, where with Walmart cash, when you earn it, you can just redeem it back in the next transaction that you want to. So anyways, though, the items I ended up picking up here on the table, I'll go over first just some of the things that were either on rollback or clearance items, which was most of the food stuff. These lemons were a 1 pound bag, 98 cents. They're regularly $2.98, so I saved $2. And just for comparison, Jewel this week had a 2 pound bag of these exact same kind, these like wonderful lemons, and they were a 2 pound bag for $3.99. That's $2 a pound. Like this, I saved $1 over that Jewel price even, which is awesome. The applesauce, I don't know why, again, too, these are not near the sell by date, but they were marked down to $1.38. They're regularly $2.68, so these would have been $5.36. I paid $2.76 and saved $2.60, which again, like, that's awesome. I know, again, just Aldi's price for their store brand was $1.99 or something like that, so again, really great deal. One thing, again, too, I do know is on rollback because it says it, is on the pasta, and I've been doing this for a few weeks to stock up on pasta now, which is also another really great thing too. If you guys are a little bit strapped for cash each week, but you know, like, again, you're going to end up having a deal like this where you can kind of like slowly build a stockpile. You can pick up 2 boxes of pasta one week, another 2 boxes the next week, another 2 boxes the next week, just to slowly kind of like build up a little bit, instead of like buying like 20 boxes in one week and spending like $20. You can, you know, again, slowly build up a little bit, which is what I have been doing over the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks now. So these are on rollback for 74 cents. I picked up 2 of them. They would have been $1.08, so it would have been $2.16 for both of those. I paid $1.48 and saved 68 cents, which isn't the best savings, but that's cheaper than Aldi's price on pasta. So I was all about that. They also had these ramen noodle cups, which were also, again, clearance or rollback, whatever, for 37 cents. I picked up 6 of them, regularly 62 cents, so 6 of them would have been $3.72. I paid $2.22 for the 6 of them and saved $1.50. Again, not quite as good of a deal, but even this week at Jewel, these ended up being cheaper than that, so I went ahead and picked these up. Also, one of the best deals that I really ended up finding, because this is something awesome for me because I am gluten-free, so I do not get a lot of deals on those type of things, but I actually got 2 gluten-free deals in here. Was these gluten-free cream of mushroom soups were rollback or clearance for 68 cents. I picked up 4 of them. These are regularly $1.97, so they would have been $7.88. And again, if you have specialty diet type foods that you have to get, you know how expensive things like that are, like gluten-free or dairy-free items and that kind of stuff. It's so expensive, so finding a good deal on something like that is so good. I ended up paying just $2.72 for the 4 of them, which again is only a little bit more than just one of them cost, and saved $5.16. The Chef Boyardee, this is the same deal as last week. These were still on clearance, I guess, or rollback, but they were 48 cents. They're regularly $1.34, so they would have been $5.36. I paid $1.92 for the 4 of them and saved $3.44. Then with the chomps, like I was saying, this was the Ibotta deal, one of the 2 that I ended up doing, but these were $2.56, and you get $2.56 back from Ibotta, making it completely free. Like I said, if you clip that Walmart cash by mistake, more than likely you will just get the 50 cents back and not the full amount from Ibotta, so make sure that you do not double clip those, because you will not end up getting that back from the Walmart cash. The other deal I ended up doing, like I said, I did the other Airwick with the Walmart cash earlier in the week, and then today I ended up getting the other Airwick, which was the same deal, $3.78 regular price, but it was a limit of 1 with the Walmart cash and 1 with the Ibotta offer, so I got $3 back with Ibotta, so these were just 78 cents, and I saved $3. Also, this Neutrogena, this was on, again, clearance or rollback, whatever, $3.98, regularly $7.17. I paid $3.98 and got $2.50 back in Walmart cash, so it was just $1.48, which is a really good price for this eye makeup remover. Also, too, another deal that I was super excited about, this shampoo, which is so expensive, it is regularly $15.87. It was most likely on clearance. It was $6.38. I paid that out of pocket and got $4 in Walmart cash back, so it was just $2.38, which again is a super expensive shampoo for very cheap. I saved $13.49 for that, which, like I said, over $10 in savings for 1 bottle of shampoo is crazy, but it's awesome. Also, the Febreze, these were again probably on clearance for $1.08, because it was like just this variety and one other one. But these were normally $4.17, so they would have been $8.34. I paid $2.16, got back $1.50 in Walmart cash, and you have to buy 2 to get that offer. So it's off of 2, making these 66 cents for 2 or 33 cents each, and I saved $7.68. Then I also ended up picking up this super easy Dial hand soap, which is like no clearance or rollback price. They're just regularly $1.24. You'll pay that out of pocket and get 35 cents back in Walmart cash, making these just 89 cents, which under $1 for hand soap is a good deal, and I saved 35 cents. The Axe deodorant, again, this item didn't even say that it was like rollback clearance or anything like that, but it was cheaper than all of the other ones. This was $4.18. All of the other ones are normally $4.94, so it would have been $9.98. I paid $8.36. I got back $6 in Walmart cash when you buy 2, so these were just $2.34 for 2 or $1.18 each, which again for Axe deodorant under $1.50 is a good deal, and I saved $7.58. The other good deal, which was on this dairy-free and gluten-free mac and cheese, this was $2.97. I paid $2.97 and got got $1 back in Walmart cash and also 1,000 points from Fetch, which is about the equivalent of $1. So I got back a total of $2, making this just 97 cents, which like I said is awesome. I hardly ever get gluten-free mac and cheese for under $2, so that was awesome. Also, these Dave's Killer bread bars, or not bread bars, snack bars. These are $2.97. Again, didn't say they were on rollback, but I looked the other stores, they have these at $3.98. I paid $2.97 and earned back 50 cents in Walmart cash and 1,200 Fetch points, which is the equivalent of about $1.20. So it was $1.70 I earned back, making these $1.27, and I saved $2.71. And like I was saying too, I also ended up placing the Dave's Killer Bites in my cart as well and was planning on getting those, but they were out of stock. So I did still earn $1.40 from Fetch, but not the Walmart cash, because like I said, Walmart cash does it after, but Fetch does it before. So even though they weren't able to fulfill that, they still ended up earning me that back. So like I said, I don't know how to go about, like, you know, saying like this was refunded. Don't give me these points for those two things that I ended up picking up, also with the gold bond as well, because I was like, oh, well, if it's out of stock, I'll just pick it up next week. But then they ended up giving me the offer, so I do think it's more than a limit of one, so I might try and get it next week, but like I said, I'm not sure. So anyways, overall though, for everything at Walmart that I ended up picking up as a net cost of under 50 bucks for all these items, like I said, I thought was pretty good. A lot of personal care and you know, like household stuff as well, but I also ended up getting some pretty decent deals on foods and things like that. And like I said, stuff that we use, like again, gluten-free stuff that I can find that cheap. Again, if it was on clearance or whatever, like that's awesome. Also, like I said, don't even get me started on the $50 shampoo that I paid under $3 for. Like that is, you know, like, I don't know, it's so expensive anyway. But again, when you can get it with clearance sales and those rebate offers and all that kind of stuff, it's so good. That's really kind of one of the best ways, especially to shop at Walmart if you're doing a grocery pickup or delivery order or something like that, is with those rebate offers, because I know that, again, Fetch and Shopkick and Ibotta and or the Walmart cash, those all sync up very nicely with your online purchase, so that again you can do it without having to go into the store, because it was cold out today and I did not want to go into the stores. So it was nice to have all my groceries delivered right out to the car. But that does it for me this week for my Walmart deals. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys give it a like and follow, and I will see you guys all in the next haul. So bye guys.